$10 billion vanished. How did this happen? A small town lost a son, a museum removed a plaque, a company filed for bankruptcy, but the money was gone first. Purdue Pharma sold a pill called OxyContin. Sales exploded. The company became a private gold mine. The Sackler family became the face of a dynasty. They used gifts to buy prestige. Museum wings, university halls, clinic chairs. Their name was everywhere. Money bought goodwill. Goodwill bought silence. A marketing decision changed everything. The company chose volume over caution. They built a plan called Evolve to Excellence. It was secret. It aimed to keep sales rising as critics closed in. The plan put reps in clinics. It pushed high-dose scripts. It rewarded volume. It promised market dominance. The consequence was simple. More pills, more profits, more addiction. A nurse in a rural ER remembers a stack of scripts. A mother remembers the first refill. A former sales rep speaks of quotas. They felt pressure. They made choices. By the late 1990s, OxyContin was a blockbuster. Revenues climbed year after year. Private fortunes rose with the ledgers. The family turned cash into influence. They gave millions. They got plaques. Success created new risks. Lawsuits began. Reports of misuse grew. Internal memos showed worry. Regulators asked questions. The board watched margins and lawyers. The company doubled down. New territories opened. Promotional budgets increased. The Evolve to Excellence program expanded at a moment of alarm. It moved from pilot to policy. Risk became strategy. A prescriber speaks on camera. He describes tight incentives. He says he was shown charts. He says the charts tied prescribing to bonuses. Consequence: more pills reached patients who did not need them. Warnings became louder. Family members of victims testified. Early research tied the drug's formulation to dependence. State attorneys general filed suits. Local clinics saw rising overdoses. A new decision followed. As the legal net tightened, money moved. Accounts shifted. Trusts were altered. Shell companies were used. Offshore transfers increased. $10 billion moved out of clear reach. A forensic economist traces the flow. Accounts in one jurisdiction. Loans to affiliated entities in another. Payments listed as management fees and consulting. Pieces of the wall between company and family wealth were rebuilt as gates. The public saw court filings. The company filed for Chapter 11. Headlines said bankruptcy would pay victims. A settlement appeared. The reported number was $7.4 billion. The headline figure fell short of the sum believed to have left. Victims felt betrayed. Lawyers for states called the plan a way to shield key owners. Trustees tried to recover assets. They chased transfers across borders. They litigated for years. Call to action. Ask your representatives to strengthen laws that trace and freeze assets before bankruptcy. Courts set limits. The settlement banned the family from opioid manufacturing roles. Names came down from wings and halls, but money stayed in parts. Some entities got paid. Some trusts remained shielded. The consequence was layered. A headline settlement. Clean-sounding reforms. Yet much cash escaped. Taxpayers and victims absorbed shortfalls. Some communities saw little relief. Human stories show the cost. A woman lost her brother to an overdose. She got a small check years later. A clinic in a hard-hit county closed. An ER doctor quit from despair. A former employee testified about directives to prioritize sales. Documents show deliberate choices. Memos from marketing. Emails from executives. Minutes of meetings where risk was weighed against revenue. The Evolve to Excellence playbook appears again and again. At the turning point, the family and the company faced a choice: fold and face full exposure, or restructure. They chose restructuring and protection. The bankruptcy code offered a pathway. The plan used it. A judge weighed claims. Victim groups argued the transfers were fraudulent. Defenders said the moves were legal business planning. Settlements were negotiated. Some money returned. Much remained contested. Numbers tell a hard story. $10 billion was moved. $7.4 billion was the headline settlement. Hundreds of millions went to defense and fees. The gap mattered. It meant schools and clinics got less. It meant fewer treatment centers opened. The cultural consequence was abrupt. Museum plaques were removed. Donations were rejected by schools. The Sackler name faded from public places. Prestige evaporated for some. Influence survived in quieter forms. A forensic economist lays out the mechanics on camera. He uses ledgers and timelines. He shows loans labeled as payments. He shows trusts receiving funds the week before filings. He explains how bankruptcy law treats affiliates. He points to weaknesses in asset tracing rules. The human impact cycles back. A child's voice reads a note left on a plaque. A parent shows a ledger of calls she made for help. A former sales rep cries as she says, "We were told to keep selling." New risks are now visible. Rich families can build layers. They can use private companies and offshore accounts. They can claim donations were separate from operations. They can make legal arguments that stretch years. New decisions are being debated. Lawmakers can tighten tracing rules. Courts can set new precedents. Philanthropic boards can say no to tainted gifts. Each step will change how dynasties behave. New consequences will follow any change. Stronger rules may mean faster recoveries. They may mean fewer names on halls. They will shape who pays for public harm. The film ends with one clear forensic answer: the money left through planned transfers, affiliated loans, and reclassification of payments. Many moves fit inside legal gray zones. Some likely breached rules. The net effect was a gap between harm caused and harm paid for. A final image returns. The same bronze plaque from the opening sits on a bench. Hands remove it. The bench is empty. A ledger closes. Pages show sums moved the day before filings. A mother holds a photograph. Final lesson: law alone cannot stop every evasive move. Public pressure and sharper rules can. Vigilant trustees and stronger asset tracing laws can close the gaps. Call to action: demand better asset tracing laws. The last shot is a ledger page that reads, in black ink, 10 billion. The camera lingers on the blank spot where a name once hung. The question remains: will the next dynasty find the same gaps, or will the law finally keep the ledger honest?